Duelists, and welcome to another deck report. This is season 6 deck, week number 7, part 3. So this is the first time I think ever in like this channel where I profile more than more than 2 decks a week. I really built this deck at last minute at locals, and I had a lot of fun with it. Very similar to what happened with the Ritual Beast Typhoon deck last week. As opposed to the Ritual Beast Typhoon deck, this one is not as strong as that deck. However, considering how stale the format is, I just love building and experimenting a lot of different strategies, and I really had a lot of fun with this one. But yeah, let's not waste too much time. Without further ado, I'll show you the list and we can talk up more about the concept itself, the weaknesses, stuff that maybe could be a little bit different, and so on and so forth. So we are playing punks. So 3 Xiamen, 3 Foxy Tunes, 2 Rising Skill, 2 Deer Notes, 1 Ogre Dance, 1 Wagon, 1 Shirakusai. So that's it for the punk names. We'll talk about the punk ratios in a bit. So the other engine that we're playing is K9. So 3 Jokel, 3 Izuna, 1 Lupus, 2 Noroi, 1 Lantern. And that's it for the K9 ratios. Very similar to the Vanquish Soul lists that you probably have been seeing around. So the last 4 monsters are... Well, actually, that's not the last 4 monsters, but non-engine monsters, we only got Fua and Ghost Ogre. Ghost Ogre is searchable with the punks, so we'll put this here. And the last engine that we're playing is Fiendsmith. So 1 Lurie, 1 Lacrima, and a 3 Engraver. And that's it for monsters. So spells, you got 3 Teleport, 3 Case for K9. You got the Jam Section, the Tract, the Force Release, Call by the Grave, and Triple Taglines. So that's it for the main deck. Extra deck, you got Ripper, Werewolf, you got Jam Fever, Melody. We are playing Jax and Valon as our other rank 5s, and those are all the XYZs. No Typhon on this list. We'll talk about that later. Desiree and Rising Carp are our fusions. For synchros, we got Psychic and Punisher. You got Amazing Dragon. You got Jan Dragon Drive. These are the synchros. And then for Link, you got the 3 Fiendsmiths and the SP Little Knight. Alright. Let's show the setup real quick. So 3 Nibiru, 3 Ash, 2 Meowls, 3 Perulia, and 3 Hekahan Godos. We'll talk about this in a while, in a bit. All right, let's start with let's talk about the deck. So this is Punk Fiendsmith K9. You're probably already familiar with the Punk Fiendsmith deck. I don't know if K9 is really popular in a deck like this, but the thing about Punk is that right now, I think that the 2 main strategies that incorporate the K9 cards are Crystron and Vanquish Soul. I think the P.U.N.K is not as good as those two. However, the P.U.N.K strategy has a lot of legs. It can play very, very well into other engines. This deck can OTK better than the other variants. And like the engine itself is really strong enough to a point where it can push through opponents' interactions. This is why you don't see a lot of non-engine in this variant of the deck. Like Xiaomin and Foxytune are just two really, really good starters. Rising Scale is a really strong extender. If you open Deer Note alongside another P.U.N.K, Deer Note itself can be used with either Jokel, or it can be used with another P.U.N.K to just summon itself. And like, if this goes from field to grave, this does reborn another P.U.N.K. So it's very easy to OTK in this variant, especially when Rising Scale is involved. The other reason the P.U.N.K cards are really cool, like with the K9, is since all the K9s are level 5, it makes it easy for you to make level 8 synchros. Granted, we're only playing Jam Dragon Drive, but let's say if you want to play like other level 8 synchros, one really good example is the new Ecclesia monster that comes out in Burst Protocol. The Centurion monsters, at least the level 8 Centurion monster. Siphon Lord Omega if you want to like start hand looping your opponent. There are other really good synchro 8s that you can make with P.U.N.K, and the best way to make them is with a K9 monster. Like, you're getting the best of both worlds. Also, the P.U.N.Ks being able to draw you a lot of cards with their engine also makes it so it gives you more value for your K9 cards if you end up drawing into them. The other thing about the deck is that it's really, really consistent. Like, in comparison to the Vanquish Soul variant, where you have very specific starters, like you have 3 Teleport, 3 Foxytune, like 3 Xiaomin. That's already 9 starters for your entire P.U.N.K rotation. Like, if you open Shirakusai with another P.U.N.K name, that also works. You got the one Ogre Dance, which is another starter. It can add you any of them. So that's already 10 P.U.N.K starters. Yeah, the other advantageous thing about the P.U.N.K deck that cannot be done with the other variants of K9 is that that deck can make Psychic and Punisher. And Psychic and Punisher is just really, really strong against a lot of decks. This is usually going to be like a finisher type card. If you do like try to go for that strategy. You also have like the Charakusai as like an interruption. So Charakusai hitting the board on your opponent's turn just turns Italy into an interruption. Yeah, Deer Note being level 5, like I mentioned earlier, makes it so you can go into K9 plays. So Fiendsmith, as you guys already saw with Fiendsmith, the bridge for the Fiendsmith cards is the Melody, which is the rank 3. I think Radiant Typhoon can make this card way better than P.U.N.K can, but just having the versatility to bridge into your Fiendsmith cards, even if you use your K9s, like as part of your engine, is really, really strong. Like you can essentially end the board with like the Charakusai interruption alongside this. Desiree equipped with like your Fiendsmith monsters. And Ripper alongside Soul Release, or Force Release rather. Like this is a really strong setup for a lot of decks, and this deck can make it very easily. This is probably one of the only few decks that I've played, at least in my experience, that can play through like most boards that are being made at the moment with just your engine. Like this is not like the past format where you got either Protos locked or the Mitsurugi Raizio deck made like their super layered end board, or Malice making like the super layered end board. Well, the Malice thing is still happening, but you know, I digress. So there's a lot of stuff that I want to play in the extra deck. One monster that we're missing is Fiendsmith Lacrima. I just feel like neither Lacrima or DDD is needed in this deck. I think Desiree just being able to negate a lot is already perfectly fine. This also helps making OTK pushes. Like, if I'm not mistaken, this does give piercing damage. Yeah. So this equipping to a Desiree just means a lot of damage being dealt. And reminder, like this deck can make this card, and it can make it really relatively easily as well. So unless you're baiting through your opponent's interruptions with just very minimalistic resources, you should be able to realistically like break the board somewhat. But yeah, that's it for the explanation behind Desiree. I just mainly didn't have the room, and I don't feel like the DDD disruptions is like the best disruptions that we have. Yeah, I guess we can talk about the side deck real quick. This is probably going to have its own video, but I will talk about this for a little brief moment. For those who don't know what this card does, like Hekahan Godos, essentially what this card does is that if your opponent added a card to their hand, and yes, most Charmings do count, outside of the draw phase or damage step, this card can special summon itself from the hand. During your opponent's main phase, you can target a monster your opponent controls and just reborn it to your side of the field. So it's a really potent monster, really potent enough to the point where I thought about it being like a side deck staple. I will make another video talking about this card later on, so stay tuned for that. So a lot of players are just playing Charmies. They're not playing a lot of other hand traps. And I feel like the Charmy approach is correct. But I also wanted to not auto-lose to Fua. I got Fua like 6 times when trying out this deck. Like, at my locals. So, yeah, this does help a lot. And the last card is Nibiru. I feel like with Izuna like backed up, this can be a really good engine push against your opponent. If you're playing Yomi, this forces out the Herald of like Arclight as well, which is really good enough. Some Mitsurugi variants, they just hop, like they do the combo and they exhaust all 3 virtual monsters very quickly, and I just end up punishing them with Nib. So that was good in that regard. Yeah, if you counted the side deck, it is 14 cards. You can fit in like a 15th wild card in there. Not much to explain here. Like I said earlier, like there's a lot of consistency in this variant. But yeah, not a really big profile. I don't have like unique combos to show. Most of the time I was playing the deck, I wasn't winning a lot of die rolls, so everything I did with the deck was kind of streamlined. But ideally, I guess I can show you like example combination, right? Let's do Joko plus Diamond, right? So you got something like this, but you don't have another level 5. You can go Xiamen, summon, Xiamen effect to add the Deer Note. Jokul effect, summon itself and the Deer Note. Jokul effect to add. So we're going to add Lantern or Izuna, depending on the situation. Let's add us the Lantern. So you got the Lantern right here. We're going to synchro these two into the Jam. We're going to use Jam's effect. And let us make sure something is correct. Yeah. So we're going to use Jam's effect. We're going to add with the Jam. Let us add Ghost Ogre. Just an example, right? So where is the Ghost Ogre? It's right here. So this is our hand, this is our board at the moment. Oh, and the Deer Note activates. The Deer Note can reborn at P.U.N.K from graveyard, so we're reborning back the Xiamen. We're going to grab the Jam and the Xiamen, and we're making Amazing Dragon. Amazing Dragon can either bounce cards or it can reborn a P.U.N.K. We're going to use the Amazing Dragon, and we're going to reborn the Deer Note. So we're at this point. We can overlay the Jam, the Amazing Dragon, to make the Jam Fever. So we're at this point. We're going to grab these two. And this makes the Ripper. And you can use the Ripper, detach. This goes to graveyard. And that is going to add us to hand. We're going to add Izuna. We're going to Lantern. Lantern back to Joko. Lantern effect. We add the Force Release. And then you grab these two and you make SP Little Knight. So you got the SP Little Knight, you got the Force Release, you got Izuna and Ghost Ogre as potential hand traps, you got the Ripper to negate, and you have the Jam Fever to negate. So this is something that you can do in this variant of the deck. Like, this had no Fiendsmith cards involved. There is... Let's see if we can do a Fiendsmith combo. So... let's see. So let's do Jokul Xiamen again, right? So we got these two. We're going to normal the Xiamen. Xiamen effect. We add to hand. Let us add... let's see. Let us add something different, right? Let us add Foxy Tune. We're adding the Foxy Tune. You can use Foxy Tune, like pitch itself and another card. Let's keep the Jokul in our hand. And Foxy Tune in order to summon let's see. Let's summon the Charakusai. We're going to use Charakusai. And then Synchro and Fuse. Fuse into the Rising card. We tribute the Rising card, summon from the deck. And let us summon Wagon, and let us summon Theodore. So we're at this point. We still got the Jokul in here. So we're going to use Wagon's effect. Wagon is going to add. I guess we can add the Jam Session. Grab these two. Make Jam. Jam effect, Dear Note effect. Dear Note brands back. Jam adds. Let us add like another Xiamen. And now we can we can grab the Jam, turn it into Fever. We use Jam Session to summon. I guess before making the drive, you can use Wagon, activate this, and you will draw out of the Jam Dragon drive. And if you use the Fever, you can draw off the Fever, and that is 3 draws. So you probably have like 3 extra cards in your hand now. But now you grab these two. And this is the Prastigin. And this goes into Requiem. And this is pretty much the Fiendsmith line. If you want to be cute and play like Duke of the Mice or play like M7, you can grab back the Deer Note in Graveyard, add it to hand, and then special summon it alongside the Joko. But yeah, this is basically like the Fiendsmith portion of the deck. There are ways that you can make all of the engines work together, but again, like I built the deck at last minute. Those are like the combos that I came up with at the spot. Yeah, I hope you found this very fun, informative, to your liking, understanding. I will probably keep tinkering around with this deck. Like I said, this is the third profile of the week. Not a lot to like add here. Yeah. That's it. I'll stop rambling. I hope you've enjoyed all the decks that I profiled so far, and keep practicing and keep dueling.